Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Building Southlake. So a couple new things to show you guys. I know it's been a week or so, technically 2 weeks, I think going today since Southlake has come out. And that was because last week I had finals and my finals on Tuesday. So I just had no time to really focus on, recording or doing anything with video games for that week. It was more just all, studying for my final. Yeah, so I think a couple weekends ago I started working on some of the other buildings that you're going to see, here, more row buildings kind of designs and stuff like that. So there's actually 4 different designs here. So we have this design, which is just a regular office building with, just using stone, a couple other basic materials. My favorite one is actually this brick one on the left. I just really like how it looks. I think it looks really good. And so that's one of the main buildings so far over here. And then over here we have a apartment building, which is not very tall at all. Just more there, to kind of fill up some of the space and not add another skyscraper. So really what we're going to be working on today is kind of more of these row building designs and trying to figure out what exactly is the best thing to go with. So one of the focuses right now is row buildings, right? So I'm trying to figure out if I could fit one in between this gap between this sidewalk and the highway here. I'm trying to figure out if I have enough room for a realistic, building size. I could always make one that's a little bit smaller than the overpass. That way we could kind of go underneath it if it could. So that's another option that we have. Let's see. What's going to be our best option here? First of all, we need to figure out what kind of materials we want to use. That's the main thing. I'm kind of thinking more of the same materials as this building here. I just really liked how these two, all those colors really work together. I think it's a really great combination. So let's try to do something like that again, just with a little bit more different design. So that was using brick, cobblestone, sandstone. We'll use quartz again. I love using quartz, as you guys know. That's my favorite block to use. Where am I? There's that. Just trying to figure out where the hell everything is. It's been a while since I've been playing Minecraft. I've actually been playing a new favorite game of mine at the moment, and it's actually called Space Engineers. I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually heard about this game. It's on the PC, and I believe it actually might be on Xbox One. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, I'm playing it on the PC. And the reason for that is mod support for that game is tremendously awesome. And so I'm really wanting to use mods on that. And I'm actually going to be recording that quite a bit. I'm actually just got done recording my very first ship that I built in that game. But pretty much the premise of the game is actually really, really cool. So it's just kind of like any other sandbox game, and it's still an open beta. And, they're adding more stuff to it every other month or every month, whatever you want to do. I don't know the schedule for the game, but it's going really, really well. Actually, I think for this building, I'm just going to use maybe stone. I want to make... let's see. We'll just use this along with our stone, with cobblestone as well. So I think this might be a good combination. But anyways, going back to the game. So basically, it's a kind of how it sounds. So it's a sandbox game to where you're in space and you can fly to these different planets now. Before, it didn't used to be like that. Before they added planets, but now you can. And like I said, the mod support for that game is it's just so awesome that it just makes you want to download as many mods as possible. So I've been playing that game, having a lot of fun, creating as much stuff as I can, trying to figure out how the game actually works, how to play it, because that's actually it's a very big learning curve I figured out. So I need to work on that. So I did create my first ship. I actually recorded it before this video today. And I'm actually very happy for how my first ship came about. If you guys want to see that video, it will be on my creating channel. And if you don't know how to get to that channel, all you got to do is go to the end of the video. In the last 20 seconds, you'll see a little end card. I'm not really sure what you call them. End screen notes. And you'll see why does this look different? Yeah, because it's 4. Wait, is it 1, 2, 3? Yep, it is. But anyways, you'll see 3 different subscribe buttons. So you're going to see one that takes you, subscribing to this channel. If you're not already subscribed, I highly suggest it. And then the other 2 are going to be for my Power Play channel and for my creating channel, which is going to be for games like Space Engineers and stuff like that. Power Play is more of like a first-person shooters kind of channel, to where, you know, I like playing for like FPSs, and usually I play with Weeby Stranger. Him and I actually haven't been playing that much, and I think a lot of that right now is that, you know, I never thought I'd get to a point where I'd be bored of games, but it's starting to get to that point actually, to where, you know, none of these games are new, none of these games have anything unique about them. So it's really, there's not much, what's the best word to use here? There's not much repetitiveness in the games you can play nowadays, in my opinion, to where before, you know, I could entertain myself for hours on one game. Now I'm just like, okay, you know, it just feels very boring. It feels familiar. You know, usually when I want to play a game, I want it to be kind of a new feeling. But I feel like I just haven't been getting that with recent games. There's just something about them. I can't really put my finger on it, but it just doesn't feel like, you know, games that I want to come back to play. Like even Battlefield 1, you know, great game, and it's a really fun game to play. But, you know, it's still, in my opinion, not as good as like Battlefield 4, to where I could actually go back and just still play that game now and play that game for several hours. But with Battlefield 1, you know, I kind of get bored after a while. I don't know why. There's just something about these games that I just don't know why I'm losing interest in them. And it really sucks because I never want to get bored of games. To me, games are just so much fun that I never want to get bored of them. And I'm kind of afraid for when I get to that point of, you know, will I ever fully get bored of these games? And I just really hope it never gets to that point. But unfortunately, it does look like I'm starting to get there. And again, just got to try to fight it as much as possible. Just got to wait for these new games to come out that look interesting. But right now, there's not too many interesting games coming out, especially like for consoles. I mean, there's some, especially with E3 coming up. We're going to, you know, learn more about upcoming games and, you know, all the good stuff there for E3. But that's pretty much, yeah. I think, you know, if I want to play more games, you know, if you're friends with me on Xbox, you'll probably notice that I have not been online as much as I usually am. And I think a lot of that is, you know, kind of going back to the games are very repetitive nowadays. And I think what I'm figuring out, you know, is PC just has so much more to offer. You know, I still like using controllers and, you know, playing on my Xbox. But there's just something to be said about, you know, there's so many more options on the PC when it comes to varieties of games versus, you know, consoles, because you're kind of limited, right? I mean, if you're a creator who makes games, you know, why not make it for PC to where you have unlimited options almost? And I think that, I mean, it makes the most sense if you're a developer, you know, why not make it for PC first? I understand it, is what I'm trying to say. I'm really stuttering here with my words, but I've been more on the PC lately, playing other games and just trying to figure out games to play. Again, Space Engineers is the big one that I'm playing right now. And it was actually really cool. I know I'm just going to keep going on about Space Engineers, but that's just the game I've been playing the most, which is why I'm talking about it so much. I wonder how daylight sensors actually look here. Let's see. Oh, I can't actually do it that way. Hold on. It'd have to be like that. Actually, that's not too bad. I want to see how this looks. I'm just kind of experimenting with this. Bam, bam. And Minecraft has also just been one of those games to where I haven't been playing it that much. I mean, I'm playing it every now and then, and it's kind of going back to, if I'm bored, usually that's when I go to play Minecraft, you know, just to kind of work in Southlake and see what I can build. And that's actually how all of these buildings came about. Was one day I was just bored. You know, I couldn't figure out what game I wanted to play. Wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do. So I was like, well, why not just go on to Southlake, make some more buildings, and do stuff like that. And usually on days like that, I don't want to record either, just because, you know, I'm kind of bored. And I don't want my boredom to come across in videos if I can avoid it. So usually I don't record on days like that. But again, kind of going back to Space Engineers, I mean, just having the ability to find those games on the consoles or on PC, it's just, it helps so much with boredom. Just because there's so much more I can choose from. I mean, obviously you end up paying for it. But there's advantages of PC versus disadvantages. I think the disadvantage is it's a lot harder to play with your friends when it comes to, you know, Steam and disconnecting with other players. On Xbox and consoles, it's very easy. You know, you just have a gamer tag. And you still kind of have that with Steam. It's just not the same setup, if you get what I'm coming from here. So there's that. Do I want to make it one more tall? I think we might. How do I want to do that? Or what we can do is just make this last window. Oh, I need cobblestone or we'll use stone bricks. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I have the hiccups. My girlfriend and I just got done eating McDonald's. Very, very delicious. McDonald's is just one of those things to where you know it's bad for you, but at the same time you don't care. Just because when you're eating it, you don't regret it at all. It's only after you're done eating and how you just feel like crap after. That's when you start to regret eating McDonald's. But right now I'm not to that point. I'm still like pretty happy with, you know, choosing McDonald's for our dinner tonight. It was very, very good. I'm that classic, you know, 10-piece chicken nugget with a medium fried chocolate shake kind of person. And you can just never go wrong with their chocolate shakes. I mean, they're just the best thing in the world. It's, so perfect. So I need a slab. I don't know why I'm putting that block away. We're going to need it here in a second. So now we're just kind of working on the roof design here. And, you know, a lot of you guys have been talking about, you know, wanting me to make Southlake videos longer. Because if you guys have been here with my channel for a while, you'll know that I used to upload Southlake, you know, I think for like, what, hours long? I'm kind of going off memory here. But Southlake would be like an hour long. Then I cut it down because, you know, while people were commenting saying they wanted longer videos, you know, the demographics just weren't showing it. And I think at this point, I'm not really caring about the demographics. You know, I just want to do what I want to do. And if that means making longer videos again for you guys, I don't mind doing it. So it's just one of those things to where you will probably see some videos of Southlake be longer and even live streams here on YouTube of Southlake. But at the same time, don't be surprised if not every video is going to be, you know, as long as 40 minutes or 30 minutes. Some, depending on my schedule, still might end up being, you know, 15 minutes to 10 minutes long. It will just really depend on what's really going on that day. So I was trying to give you guys a heads up on that and what you can kind of expect. So I will start making these Southlake videos longer for the most part, unless I just have a reason to cut it short that week. And if I do, I'll try to let you guys know ahead of time, like in the video, that it won't be as long, so you guys can know and kind of prepare for that. So we got that. Now we just need to figure out what kind of glass design we want to use. I like the look of brown glass, surprisingly. And the reason why is, if you actually look at these windows over here, these are actually brown. And I just really like how it looks. It's because it's a subtle brown. It's not like, you know, a dark brown, very obvious. It's a very, you know, not as, I don't know really how to describe it. There's just something about the brown glass that looks really good on some of these buildings. Not all of them, but on a lot of them. It looks really good. And I just can't put my finger on why it makes it look good. And that's also because I'm just really bad with coming up with words on some days, especially on days where it's been very long weeks and just kind of going from there. Work's been very hectic, just trying to get a lot of stuff done. And found out today, most likely I'll be working on 3 current projects, which is going to be really time consuming. So you might not even see some videos from me every now and then, depending on how the next couple weeks or months go. Just because I might be super busy working a lot of overtime at my job. So really just kind of have to try to figure out what's going on from there. But the good news is I did pass my physics class for college. So I passed Physics 1. So I am 1 class away from getting my Computer-Aided Drafting Associate's degree. Which, if you don't know what a CAD degree is, or what CAD is in general, it's basically a program where you design stuff. You can design almost anything. There's so many things you can design. I mean, you can't just pinpoint it to one thing. But, I mean, there's just so much going on with that program. So, you know, I definitely enjoy using CAD. But I think I had learned maybe 6 months ago that's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. You know, I still come home. Obviously, you guys know this to an extent because I still upload videos. But, man, I need a new chair. This thing is very squeaky. Sorry if you guys can hear the squeakiness from my chair. I can't move at all without it squeaking. But I mean, as you guys know, I love doing YouTube. I mean, obviously there are days, there are weeks, even months to where I just don't want to record. I kind of get out of it. And I think a lot of that is not because I'm bored of YouTube, but it's more being bored of the same content over and over again, I think is the thing. Because I always like new stuff. I like branching out and doing new things. And sometimes on YouTube, you just can't, oh my goodness, stupid McDonald's. You just can't avoid that. You know, series, you just have to really, because series are really what brings people back to your channel. I mean, Southlake, you guys know to come back, you know, pretty regularly on Tuesdays, and you'll see Southlake. You know, but every now and then I get bored of doing Southlake, and I think a lot of YouTubers run into the situation of just getting worn out on content and just trying to force it, because then once you force your content, that's when you realize it's not as good as it used to be. You realize that you're making sacrifices that you probably shouldn't be doing if you want to maximize the quality of your content. And I think if you look at every YouTuber, anybody who creates anything, I think you always see that trend. I mean, one of the other ones I can think of right now is I haven't talked to him in a while, but his name is Vadak. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of him, but, you know, I kind of played with him when it came to Chaos Craft, which I actually kind of miss Chaos Craft to an extent. I miss playing with those guys, hanging out with them, and I hope they're doing good. But Vadak, I actually saw something. I didn't watch the video, but, you know, I just saw the title of the video saying, I'm taking a break from YouTube for a couple weeks while I regenerate, kind of get some, you know, new ideas, try to just redo myself, redo my content kind of thing, like trying to just kind of start over to an extent. And I think I wanna, if I ever get successful, you know, again in my channels and I get them to grow how I always wanted them to grow, I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna make it a habit of, okay, so what I'm gonna do is every 2 weeks, I'm going to take 1 week off. And that way it gives me and gives time to myself to come up with new ideas, to regenerate, you know, new ideas, get myself back and try not to force content. And I think that's probably just the best way to go, is just, you know, taking breaks every so often, kind of just like vacations, but try to have them be, you know, a scheduled thing. That way people know what to expect. They know when it's happening, and they can watch all your other videos in that meantime. So I think if I ever get to that point of my channels are successful again and I can turn it into a full-time job, because that's definitely, I mean, the end goal here is to make YouTube my full-time job again. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to say, look, for 2 straight weeks or 3 weeks, I'm going to upload content normally. But then after that 3rd week, I'm taking 1 week off just to, you know, just for me kind of thing. And I think if I do that, that might be the best way to go. But on the other side of that argument, the only other thing I could think of that would be bad would be getting into that habit of, oh, I got the week off, you know. I could just kind of relax and take advantage of it. Because that's also one of the other hard things about YouTube, I think, is trying not to take it for granted, because I did that, and that's when you just see things drop off and you just see a big difference in your quality of content. And I wish I never took it for granted, you know, just how my channel was growing. I took advantage of it. I thought it would always grow like it was, and I was wrong. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I know what to expect now. But, you know, I don't regret it, because I learned more from the failure of that than anything. And I think, you know, if you ever want to learn more about yourself, you need to lose. You need to, you know, put yourself in some bad situations. You know, I wouldn't say put yourself in them, but you find more about yourself when something happens that you didn't expect. You can figure out more about your personality. Other people can figure out more about you from the same things, because they can figure out if you're kind of the person that will jump back and get working even harder, or if you're going to be the person that goes, oh, well, it didn't work out, I'm going to move on to the next thing, and just kind of go from there. So I think it just really depends on, you know, everybody's own personality and how you want to go about doing things. So these need to be andesites. So right there, boom, perfect spot. There's that one. All right. So I want the front door to maybe be here, or do we want it? Maybe the front door, we'll put it over here. That might be the best bet to go with. So where's my stone slabs? I think I cut out one more than I really wanted to. And this is the only other thing about having a sidewalk like this, just the fact that you have to kind of account for that when it comes to buildings, because you could either go lower than the slab or above it. And most of the time I go above the slab. I think it's just the better looking thing to do. But, you know, to each their own again. Everybody has their own styles and what they like and what they don't like. So there's that. All right. Take back out the clay. And what we do is have our banner start here. Do we want to end it there? How about we end it like right there? No, I actually don't like that. We'll end it right here. So we'll just cover these two windows. So bam, like this. And might as well just have this be a full thing. So just put this block back. So I think overall the building's looking pretty good so far. Kind of going back to our stairs here. So this one. So I actually didn't have one here on the end. I had it starting here. Okay. That kind of cleared things up. I was really confused about how I did that for a second. Alright. Then we need our slab. How much time are we at already? We are at 21 minutes. So I think we're going to be ending the series, or not series, but the video here in a second. Again, not every video is going to be 40 minutes long. Not every video is going to be 20 minutes long. It's going to be more just playing it by ear and what's going on that day. Like pretty much just what I said earlier without repeating myself again. Put that there. So we need to figure out how many we need so they're centered. Because we can't just go off this. I think we need to go over, is it 2 more blocks or just 1? Let's see. So this needs to come out 1 more. There we go. There's that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 1 more here. Then that's the center. All right. And we'll just put slabs here behind. And that way they don't fully connect. It just kind of gives it a little bit more unique design to the roof. Just doing something like that. Yeah, so I think we got this building done. I'm just going to work on the other sides. The other sides are just going to be empty, I think. Maybe this top window might overlook the highway, but we'll see about that one. Other than that, the rest of it's going to be just solid walls because they're going to be a row building. You don't want to have windows on the right side when there's going to be another building literally right next to it. So it doesn't make any sense to go from there. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys next week for another episode of Building Southlake. And stay tuned to the end of the video to actually see the other videos on my other channels as well. So bye-bye, guys.